Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you had an amazing day today. So I'm coming through with a late one. Couldn't rest until I shared this topic with you guys, and I hope that it brings some type of insight, for you. So the topic is heart posture. And I'll get into the definition of that just in case people don't understand what that means. But it's something that I've been hearing for the last year or so, and it's caused me to really reevaluate where I'm coming from when I do things. And it's not to say that I come from a bad place or, a suspect place, but it's just about being more intentional about paying attention to where my heart posture is when I do an act of service, when I, do an act of giving, something in that realm. I must be aware at all times where my heart posture is. And so, to wrap up what heart posture means, it just means where are you coming from when you do an act of service, when you give a gift, when you reach out to someone, all the things that we do on a regular basis that are acts. So whether we're talking to people, whether we're, seeking out people, whether we're doing an act of service, all of these things come from where our heart is positioned. And that is important to be aware of it simply because of what happens in reciprocation of this act. So, for example, if you were to give someone your time, are you giving your time because you expect something in return, or are you just doing it because you know that this person needs someone to talk to, for instance? Where is your heart posture? So, if you can relate that to anything that you do that is an act of kindness or an act of service to someone, always evaluate where you're coming from. Is it coming from a good place? And be honest with yourself. You don't have to share this with me. You don't have to share this with your brother or sister or your partner. Be honest with you. So the reason why I'm bringing up this topic is because it was influenced by a conversation that I had this morning where I spoke on, the posture of someone's heart. When we do an act of service, we are really doing an act of service for what reason? If we see that someone's in need and we have the capacity to help them, are we helping them because we see that they're in need? Or are we helping them so that, in return, we get something to make us feel good about the fact that we did it? So I find oftentimes that we can do things with the intention of either receiving praise, receiving, validation in some degrees. But this is not coming from the right heart posture, if you understand what I'm saying here. If you're helping someone in need, it's because you have the capacity to help that person. And there shouldn't be this expectation of something in return, especially from that person. And so that was kind of the conversation that we were having. And it brings me back to a personal experience and a current experience at that, that will mesh this whole message together. So I'm a creative person. I have a lot of, talents / gifts in the area of creativity. I know how to draw. I can sing. I can do many things that would bring out the creativity side of me. And that's, something that God has given me. So back in the day, I used to get really, really upset when I would do something that I felt like I put effort and time into, or even if it did come to me very naturally and easy and quick, that people would either not give me credit for it, or they would just hijack things that I've done and pose as though it was them who were the originators of it. And, I don't want to split hairs and talk about, nothing's new under the sun. But just for the sake of the conversation, that was my thought process. And so I would either get really salty about it, or, I would have, kind of like subliminal posts that I would put out, or I would just come at you directly and blast you about it. But, at the end of the day, doing all of these things never got me the validation, if you will, that I wanted from me using my gifts. But that's because I didn't understand the purpose of having gifts. So the purpose of having gifts is not so that people turn around and praise you. If you get that as a result, also practice some humility with that. If people want to say, oh, Corey, you're brilliant, or oh, Susie, you're, amazing when you do this, or oh, Sarah, you are an expert in this, take the gratitude from that praise, but also remain humble. So that's just a side note. But really, our gifts are to share with others. It really is to help the world become a better place, one person at a time, if you will. And it all depends on what you're gifted at, right? So if, in my sense, I am a creative and that is my gift, then I use my creativity to either elevate people or to help convey a message that will motivate and inspire others to do something positive in their life. And so as it relates to my career and what I do, we do a lot of marketing. And so I get to express my creative chops. Now, do people say, thank you, Corey, for creating this flyer, or, creating this thing that I have access to, or, thank you, Corey, for writing this post because it's so dope. I couldn't even find the words to express, something to that degree. And I would really love to use what you've written and, post it on my page. No, I don't get that. But it's okay. And I've taken it a step further in making sure that I'm intentional about making sure that my heart posture is in the right place by giving people permission to use my stuff. Because again, my gifts are not for me to receive praise. They're for me to share with others so that they can elevate as well. And so with that said, what I have going on today, I do a lot of marketing. And for that reason, I can most times find the right words to say to go along with what I'm promoting. And a lot of people use it. And I've given people permission to use it because, again, like I said, it makes sure that when it is copied and pasted, and I see it on multiple people's timeline and other people are reacting to it, I'm saying to myself, good, Corey, you've done what you're supposed to do. You're doing what God has asked you to do, not what your ego has asked you to do, what God has asked you to do. And that is to share with others. So with that said, I want you guys to, take a moment and think about an area in your life where you may feel a little, salty, or a little bit like, I wish people would show more appreciation. And then think about your heart posture where that's concerned. Are you doing this thing for the greater good? Are you doing this thing to help the people that you come in contact with elevate? Or are you doing this so that you can shine, so that the spotlight is put on you? Because it's important to understand that part. If you know that you're doing this for the greater good, seldom, just very seldom, would you feel salty about people using your gift. So with that said, take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, where's my heart posture? How can I improve my heart posture? I've given you an example just based on what I do, and you can take that example and apply it to your life as well. You can take this video and blast it and say, you know what? I ain't even going to tell Corey that I'm doing it. That's the point. That's the point. I'm doing this to help others elevate. So if you copy this onto your page and I have no clue that you did, kudos to you. If you do want to say some comment, or you don't even want to, say anything at all I'm hoping and praying is that this message gets through to you in the way that it's supposed to be received. It's supposed to help you build yourself up and build others up. So with that said, I'm going to wrap it up. It's almost 10 minutes. You guys take care. And until next time, peace.